Welcome and hello. Welcome to the Go Plan video library that includes Greenleaf Financial Fitness Series and other financial professional series involved with personal financial wellness. This series, along with other videos, will be posted on our Go Plan YouTube channel, websites, and other social media outlets. My name is Jim Hiles, and as your host, I think it's important to highlight what financial wellness is and how tools like Go Plan 101 can help Americans achieve their goals and wishes. So, what is financial wellness? It is defined as the overall financial health of an individual. What it does for you is probably most important. It helps you increase understanding all things related to money. It can also help decrease stress, help you make better decisions, and perhaps most importantly, keep you on track as things change in the future. What's Go Plan 101? Well, Go Plan 101 combines web technology and educational content with behavioral change solutions, free software, and a huge resource center full of focused responses. Translation? Simple. Go Plan 101 is a cool site that helps people deal with their money issues so they can do what they want to do. And you also have the capability on our site to talk to a coach or go right to the resource. At the end of the day, financial wellness is only as good as the actions taken. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Greenleaf Financial Fitness Series powered by First Capital Advisors Group. Today's installment is Financial Planning 101, and I also wanted to point out that on the go-to webinar sidebar, you should see a handout section where you can go and download a PDF of this presentation if you'd like to use for a cheat sheet later on. Also, if you don't see that or you have a trouble downloading them, we'll have them on the website for you afterwards. As always, we'd like to do some quick introductions here to the people who make these webinars possible. Here we have Jamie Greenleaf. Jamie's a partner and advisor of Cafaro Greenleaf. Jim Hiles here with me today, senior partner with Greenleaf Financial. And I am Jim D., financial advisor also with Greenleaf Financial. So let's get right into it, financial planning and the questions that we all have to deal with at one point or another. These are some of the most common questions that we see, and people are wondering if they can retire. How can I retire? Am I saving enough to retire or put my kids through school? Am I invested properly? When should I take Social Security? When should I claim Medicare? And do I need life insurance? Do I have enough life insurance? Do I need long-term care insurance? You can see them all here. I mean, and obviously debts and funding for colleges are also some big issues that we deal with. So this is a slide you've seen us use before. Here I'm going to bring in Jim Hiles. Jim, why don't you walk us through this?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. And we're excited about today because you're going to get access to something which is brand new on this call. I think it's all about financial planning. So to answer those questions, you need to have some sort of tool to help you through it. And you also need to know kind of where you are in the life cycle of financial planning. Are you in the accumulation stage? You're trying to make your money grow? Are you approaching the distribution phase where you need income? Are you in the income phase perhaps? And then in the future, what do you do with your assets? What do you do with your wealth, legacy planning, estate planning, things like that? So the financial planning tool we're going to introduce today is actually going to talk about all of these, where you can go ahead and put your specific data, your personal information in here and model it out for yourself.
Okay, here's a little humor. We realize not everyone loves talking about investments and financial planning. It can oftentimes seem, bewildering and confusing and complicated. So we thought we were going to try to help out with that a little bit today.
Yeah, so if you're confused, it means we've explained it properly. That's what that says, right? So when you look at financial planning, it can seem to be that way, but the tool is going to help you walk through how to do it. And when you talk about what this can do for you, let's talk about the outcomes, not necessarily inputs right now. This is going to help you get organized, which is probably where most people need to start. You're going to get clarity on your situation, what you have to work with. And then it's going to help you do things like figure out how to save money. Just putting attention on some of these things allows it to happen. What investing versus savings means, how to do a budget, and then how to stay on track, how to keep yourself accountable. And all of this goes back to the whole point of wellness, which is, hey, you're going to get educated. It's going to increase your understanding for how things work. You're going to feel better at dealing with your finances, hopefully across your financial spectrum. It should help decrease stress. You'll be able to make better decisions and put you in a position of being in control. So very excited about this.
Listen, we know financial planning can be boring and intimidating, like we were just talking about. So try to think of it like a vacation. There's a study recently, or it's been around for a long time actually, that said people spend a lot more time talking and planning their 2-week vacation than they spend on their retirement planning. Vacations are fun, something to look forward to. So if you think of retirement kind of like a long-term vacation, it can take a little bit of the edge off and the pain involved when you sit down to start putting together a plan.
Well, I think if you look at this beautiful little picture on being at the beach, that's my kind of vacation. That's where I want to go. But this is meaningful. If you go to greenleaffinancial.com, giaplan.com, you will have access to create your own personal financial plan for free. It's complimentary. It's brand new. If you go to our site, giaplan.com, click on that red button there for a free financial wellness site, then you're going to be able to actually start going in and using this tool we're providing to start building out your own financial plan. So basically what it's going to do, it's going to provide you with some basic input information. You want to enter your age and your income, and this starts the process of opening your website.
So we're going to walk you through what you'll see when you go in there. You click on the red box, you'll see that first page we were just on. Now you have 2 goals to choose from to start with, right? There's a lot more down the line, but you start here and you're going to see the retirement or savings. We chose retirement to show you what you're going to see. So if you click on retirement, what you're going to see is something that looks like this. Okay, so if you've already entered your age and your income, the program makes certain assumptions about that you've made that kind of an income for your career and you'll continue to. But here we see that they assume that you're going to want to retire at age 65 and you're going to want 80% of your current income in retirement. We haven't entered anything for savings or a monthly savings right now, so you can see that we're only 33% funded for retirement. So let's go to the next page.
Well, just to keep in mind, this is like a game. In other words, you can put in and change whatever these numbers are. This allows you to do your personal planning, gives you kind of a feel for retirement.
Right. So once we start to play with it, you'll see that now I added the $150,000 that you might have in a 401k plan or other savings investment accounts that you might have, and how much you're saving per month. So let's say you're a married couple, you're both working, and $650 is going into a 401k plan, 2 401k plans, including an employer match. That brings you up to 60% funded. Now let's look below where it in red says, how can I improve my goal? And right there, it's giving you suggestions. Consider saving an additional $1,250 a month. Consider reducing your retirement spending. So maybe you can't live on 80%, or maybe you can retire at a later age. Again, what Jim was just saying is we can change those numbers. This is all live once you get in here and set this up for yourself. So let's take a look at what we see next. So here we took one of their examples. We took one of the suggestions and we changed retirement age up here on the left to age 70, and it brought us to 100% funded. So that's a good outcome, right? We don't always see that, but sometimes you need to compromise and maybe retire later and invest more or earn better returns. And if we look up here, Jim, above the green circle, we see that this is assuming average market returns. So we can change that to below or above, and it will tell you how how that changes your outcome.
So how do you get started? So this is a tool which is basically just a little calculator. It's a little microcosm of planning. And if you want to go ahead and move forward, it's also kind of a little opportunity for us to get information to send you to set you up on your personal financial website. So now once you've gone through those tools and you want to go further, you want to go deeper, you want to actually do your own, then you put your information in here and you click on the submit request down below, and you're actually going to get set up on your own website. So that will come in. This is what you'll see. We're going to set you up when you send the information in, and you're going to be able to go ahead and actually use the full site. What you just saw a moment ago was just a little tool. Now you're going to get the full site.
So after we receive your request, you'll get at some point, and we're hoping 24 hours. It could be sooner than that. You'll see. You'll get an email to set yourself up. You'll get a personalized link. This link can only be used once, and it will take you into the setup. So when you're ready, once you receive that email and you have about 10 minutes to spend, to at least 10 minutes to get set up, click register now. You'll need to set up a password. You'll need your cell phone. This is protected by two-factor authentication. So when you're ready to go, click register now, and we'll get you into this screen. This is where you can enter as much data as you would like about yourself. We'll go through the process. The more you enter, the more you can get out of it. And you can also make changes after you've entered the data and you've moved forward. You can always go back and make changes, so don't worry about that. So let's click Let's Get Started. And here you go. What are your financial goals? Click your way through. You don't have to pick one of these. You could pick all of them. You can pick 2 of them, 3 of them, whatever number you want. But whatever's top priority, what's on your mind, right? Retirement planning, caring for parents, college, you name it. Click through. Next step. And if we picked those 4 or those 5 priorities, we can now drag and reprioritize them, move them up or down the list so that we put in a different emphasis on whichever ones are more important to you. Next step. What keeps you up at night? Select all that apply. Self-explanatory. So here you are. Once you get through that process, which you could tell was not very painful, you've now established your own financial planning, financial wellness website. And if you can see at the bottom, it says, take me to my website. That's where you're going to click.
We do technology training on the side, you can probably tell.
So that's why we have the handouts for cheat sheets if you want to print these out. And we'll have them on the website also. So this is what you're going to see once you go through that process. And we already had entered some information for that person in terms of accounts they may have had and whatnot. But Jim, now we're going to go live. We're going to go live. This is a first for us, going into an actual live website for the Joe and Jane sample, the good-looking couple that we set up here, and go through and we're going to click through and show you what you're able to do once you have this set up for yourself. Okay, so once you go through that process and you get to this home page, this is going to be your information. And again, as Jim said, you can go add and subtract your way through here. One of the first places to go is just go into the workshop. You're going to see that there's a lot of conversation about what financial wellness is and all that. A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's a lot of education. Just, how do you find stuff out there that makes sense? Let's say that you wanted to go find something like retirement planning, and you wanted to go look at the library, and there's an educational center built in here. It's essentially the Google of finance as it relates to financial wellness. So you can just type something in here, call it retirement, and you can get some information on what retirement means and where you want to go with that. There are videos, there are articles, there are other little calculators that you can use in here, and there's a pretty nice stash of information that's continually updated. And there are also some other little things to play with in here, these little, we call them tiles, where you can say, okay, well, again, another little quick hit type calculator to see how you're doing. And this pulls your information that you loaded in. It's your actual data, and you can pull accounts through. And you can see in the samples case, they have a number of accounts to look at. And you can actually look at these accounts and see what they're doing and how they're doing it. So if you want to go back and forth into your information, you go back to the organizer, which is where I am here. And you can basically go in here, add accounts. You can add professional contacts. If you want to change your income and expenses, your future goals, your priorities. And here's another thing we like to use when it comes to investing. What is your risk tolerance? How much investment financial risk can you take? And there's a little quiz in here that you should do as one of the first things to help figure out what your risk profile should be. You go through a little quiz here. It's not too difficult, 12 questions. And it kind of helps you figure out what risk profile. In this case, I'm a moderate to moderate aggressive kind of investor. Now I have something to kind of look forward and start my planning. When I look around at some of the other things that it'll do for me, it's pretty interesting to go to something called spending.
Well, in the spending area, you can actually bring in your actual accounts, specifically your bank accounts and credit cards, and they can electronically, it's called account aggregation. So let's say you have a Schwab account, for example, and you want to go to pull your Schwab data in, but you don't have to want to re-enter it every day to make sure it's up to date. Well, here I can go to find Schwab, and I'm going to be able to go here, click on it, and I put my username and ID in here, and it's going to pull the information directly from Schwab. Now, this is not your Schwab screen. You can't trade on it. It just pulls information. It's called screen scraping. It basically pulls account information for you to look at on this screen. So great way to bring information in relatively quickly. You can bring in all kinds of accounts in here. They have a number of different institutions they can pick from. So that's what this allows you to do. So you now start seeing how easy it can get when you start automating these things. Let's go back to home here for a moment. And if you go back to the home screen, you can then figure out some other things that might be interesting. For example, investments. You know, I get this question a lot. What if I've got accounts in different places? Can I figure out how I'm doing? Well, that specifically is what this is designed to do. If you put your accounts in here, which is down here, then I'm going to be able to see kind of how I'm doing on those accounts. And I could have my 401k, my retirement account someplace else, my individual account, my savings account, whatever. I kind of get a sense for what the values are and how they're doing. And this little chart over here tells us over time, I know this is just a short, 2-month view so far, but it'll tell you over time, if you're going up or going down and what was going on in the investment accounts that you own. So it's a great little tool to kind of track, where all of your investments are. It's a consolidated reporting device that you can use, that we use every day in our business professionally when we're talking to our clients here. Okay, so that gives a quick overview of the site. And I think what we'll do now is we'll go to reports just quickly. This is just another little thing to do. If you go to reports, you can actually see and print out a balance sheet. And there are a number of reports you can pull out in here. Cash flow, which is your budget, can be done. Insurance summaries, put all your life insurance information in here. It pulls out balance sheets. If you want to go borrow at the bank, it looks at your cash flow. So education funding. So all of these little reports you can print out and kind of use to study to see whether or not they make any sense to you. So that's a very quick overview. Again, if you want to use this, it's here for you to use. It's complimentary. It's part of Greenleaf Financial and our offering to you as a client at Kafaro Greenleaf. So knock yourself out. If you have any questions, you certainly come back to us.
And we'll go to workshop and show some of the educational materials that are in there.
Yeah, I think the one that we were playing with before was I think this how are my investments allocated? So I want to just take a look at that. So we get this question a lot. Should I be investing a certain way? The market's too high. Interest rates are low. Should I be in cash? Should I be invested? If so, how? Well, once you've done your risk profile and you've loaded your information in here, it's going to kind of tell you whether or not you're on where you should be. This is your current portfolio of where you're invested, and this is where you probably should be based on your risk profile. Well, that's a little different than that. So you're basically looking at a way of sort of quickly judging if you're in the ballpark. Now, you're probably going to have to then apply it to your specific investments. You may need to talk to your 401k person or another financial advisor to kind of figure out how to do it. But this is going to give you a great ballpark view as to if you're in the right place. All right, so let's go back to here. So I think it comes down to understanding that you have a great new tool. It's on gfplan.com. It's a financial wellness site that you're going to have to kind of work your way through, that you'll get those two little tools and some information exchange, and then you're going to have the opportunity to get yourself set up. Your account, once you do set it up, your website will be there. Only you can log in and see it. Your information is there. So it will be there, tomorrow. It'll be there hopefully a year from now, because, it'll be something you'll want to continually monitor and follow as part of your financial plan. At the end of the day, though, a plan is like the blueprint for a house. It shows you how to build the house. You will have to start implementing. You need to start buying the windows and the concrete and the wood and everything else. In this particular example with financial planning, it's really about how do I make my investments work? If I need college funding, how do I make those investments work? How about if I've got loans or debt that I want to deal with and I'm not managing well and I want to do better? You're going to have to go out and find somebody to perhaps help you with that debt management. Your insurances, maybe you need to talk to an insurance specialist or agent. We're going to be able to direct you to these places. So I think it's pretty exciting to have this as a good place to start today. So Jim, I'll kind of turn it back to you, and you can tell us a little about what to expect next.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Jim. I mean, as Jim said, we were hoping that these tools that we showed people would help you understand the best way to start the process or continue the process and all of the moving parts that go into a financial plan. So you now have a tool that you can use for free. You can log in, establish your website for yourself, and get going. And
so we covered a lot of ground, and let's just summarize. It's time to put this information to work. We live in a wonderful and a free country, but it's up to us to take responsibility and move forward, particularly on our personal financial wellness. So let's take some action here. Let's go and explore this financial stuff. Take a buddy with you if you need to. Have some fun. Learn a little or learn a lot about what you can do financially. These videos and websites, I hope you enjoy. I think they're great. But if you're like me, sometimes you just want someone to talk it out with. So seek out coaching from our site from professionals who've been vetted to provide you with complimentary initial consultations as being part of the Go Plan 101 experience. If you've not started your planning, or even if you have, use today's video to explore the area of concentration. Make sure you understand how it impacts you. My favorite quote is, life doesn't go in a straight line. You need to stay on top of it. So consider subscribing to our newsletter or our YouTube channel. Please reach out to me if you want more help or have questions. And lastly, thank you for listening. Now, go plan and go attain your financial wellness goals. Jim Hiles signing off for today. Take care.